Hello, this is the Cobra MX534SPCE, which is a 21-inch rotary mower with 4 speeds and an electric start. It's a good big mower, ideal for medium to large size lawns, and this is how it arrives with you in this cardboard box. So what we're going to do is open the box, take everything out, and I'm going to show you how to get it ready so you can mow your lawn. So we've got it all unpacked now, all the protective wrappings have been taken off. Got it here on the bench so we can do the little bit of assembly that's needed. And there's not an awful lot to do with it, to be fair. So we've got the mower unit here, the handle's folded down in transit, so we need to fix that onto the bracket, so we'll look at that. There's a side discharge adapter, which I'll show you how that fits when we take it outside. You've got the manuals here for the mower and the engine with this, and all the fittings that you need, nuts and bolts to hold the handles on, and the charger, because this is a electric start, so there's a battery charger that comes with it, and of course the grass collection bag. And this also needs just a little bit of assembly, so we'll start with this and then I can show you how to put the handles on the mower. So all we need to do really is just to clip the bag onto this steel frame. It's not clipped on purely to make it smaller in transit. So we've got these rubberized clips here that are going to clip over this steel rod. And little tip, if it's quite cold when you do this, just rub these along a little bit. It just softens the plastic and then they clip over so much easier. So it's just a case of opening them up like that and clipping them on. So there we go. And then we've got one at either side, so let's just put it through and then open the clip and just slide that on into place and repeat on this side. So there we go. So now we've got the grass collection box all ready to go. So I'm just going to pop that under the bench so I've got a bit of room to work on the mower. So here we are. This is the mower itself. What we need to do is now get the handles into position, and this is what we've got, these 4 fixing 4 bolts with a wing nut on them, so 2 for either side of the mower. So I'm just going to take them apart. So we've got the bolts ready, so all we need to do really is just to lift up the handlebar like this, and it's important that we make sure that all the cables are on the inside. We're going to fix onto these 2 steel brackets like that. So that's what we're going to do, fix them on like that, and everything is on the inside. Now you can do this single-handed, but it's a bit fiddly, so it's easier if you've got somebody just to take the weight. So could I just ask Gareth just to step in? Thank you, Gareth. So we're just going to hold this into position and put the top bolt in first, because that one is a fixed bolt. What we can do with this is alter the angle of the handlebars to make them taller or lower depending how tall you are. So I'm not ever so tall, so I'm going to go for the lower setting, which is just there. So the bolts are coming from the outside in, and then we're putting the plastic locking ring nut on the inside. So then we can repeat this side. Thank you for that, Gareth. Just makes it that little bit easier if you've got somebody to give you a hand with this. So we just pop that on. And of course, if you want to alter the angle, if somebody else is using the mower, it's just a case of removing the lower bolt, tilting the handlebars, and then retightening it. So that one can go on there. So we need those to be nice and tight. Already on the handlebar, we've got the cable clips here. So what we need to do with this is we just clip that off like that. So it's just a case of popping the cable in it and then clipping it back on, and that just means that it's now out of the way and not going to flap. And likewise on this side we've got 3 cables, so it's just push that off. It's easier to put them inside it and then like that, and then clip that on, and then we can do a little bit of final adjusting once it's on. We'll get them into position like that, and it just holds them nice and neatly onto the handlebar so they're not going to be damaged. We also need to attach the ends of these cables to these 2 levers at the top of the handlebar, and they go through the holes Don't try and struggle to get them through like that. You won't be able to do it. The easiest way is to actually spring the handle out the hole like that. So it goes in the hole there, take it out, and then the little end there with the bend on it will simply go through the hole, twist into position, and then we just need to spring that back into place there. And likewise with this one, we just take it out, and then we can put the cable through like that, and then spring it in, and then we can see we've got these spring-loaded levers here for when we're using the mower. So that's the main part of the assembly there. Just a couple of little bits to put on. You'll find that you've got these two plastic lugs as part of the little components in the bag. So if we lift up the back grass flap, we can use these here, and where they go are in these little holes at the top, and it's just a case of pushing one into this side and one into this side, and then we can put the flap down. And the reason for that is, if you're mowing without the grass box or the mulcher in there, it doesn't completely close the opening at the back, so the grass will still be able to find its way out instead of clogging up on the underside of the machine. So that's what they're for, but we can still put the grass bag on. Now we've finished the assembly, the only thing we need to do before we can start mowing is to put some oil and petrol in it. So we'll do that now. The mower comes complete with a bottle of oil, the correct type of oil that goes in it, and the oil goes at this side here. That's where we've got the dipstick as well, and then the petrol is this side. So we're going to start with some petrol. Golden rule with all lawn mowers is always use fresh petrol. Don't use old stale petrol that you've had in a can in the garage or shed for months and months. It doesn't work as well, and the new fuel that's available in petrol stations is perfectly fine to put in these. There is an additive you can use as well if you want to, but the new fuel will work in these mowers. So we've got some fresh fuel here, so it's just a case of topping it in. Makes it much easier if you've got a little funnel. It avoids any spillages like that. Top back on, and then what we need is some oil, and I'm just going to come around this side of the mower. So we've got the oil, 0.6 of a litre, 600 millilitres, and this engine takes 600 millilitres, so it's going to take all of this. So what we do is take out the spark plug here. Sometimes there is a residue of oil on them because these engines have all been tested, of course, in the factory. So although it needs 0.6 of a litre, I'm also going to check it with the dipstick. So I'm going to pour the majority of the oil in and then check it, because there might be just a small amount left in the bottom. So it's just a case of carefully pouring that in to the top. Again, you can use a funnel if you want, but it's quite a big hole to pour into. Right, I think we are maybe just a drop more, and I think we're almost there. So what I'm going to do is just try that with the dipstick. So always wipe the dipstick first to make sure there's no oil on it. Put the dipstick in and put it into the lock-in position so it's fully down, and then we can take it out. It's difficult to see, of course, because it's new shiny oil, but if you get it in the light you can see that it's just there to the top of the hatching on the dipstick to where there is an H, so the high point is there. So that is absolutely fine now, so that can go back in, and we're now ready to start. So what we'll do is lift this off the bench, take it out onto the lawn, and I'll show you the starting procedure. Before we start the mower, I thought I'd just look at the different mowing methods that you can use with this mower. It's got a grass box, which we've assembled, which goes on the back, but it's also got a mulch plug. So if you lift the back flap here, you'll see there is a mulch plug, and what you do is squeeze the handle and that comes out. And what this mulch plug does is stops the grass being blown out from underneath the mower into the grass collection box, and it stays within the deck, chops it finely and mulches it down into the grass. So it's a great way if you don't want to collect. But if you do collect, then obviously you've got the grass collection box. The grass box just sits behind those plastic lugs there like that, and then it's just a case of putting the lid down. You just got to make sure it's all in line. There's an indicator there that flaps, and when it stops flapping, that tells you that it's full and you can empty it. The other way that you can mow is what we call side discharge, and this is ideal if you've got grass that's just that little bit longer, and what the mower does is throw it out at the side into rows. So to do that, you would take off the grass collection box, you would fit back in the mulching plug so the grass can't go out the back of the mower, and instead it's going to be thrown out the side, and this is where it exits the mower. There's a red button underneath there that releases this flap, and then we can lift it up, and then what we do is we take this side discharge chute, we just hook it onto the steel pin underneath, and the spring loaded flap holds that in place, and the grass is thrown out here. So it's really good if the grass gets a bit longer, if you've got an orchard or somewhere where you're growing wildflowers in a meadow style lawn. This is perfect for it. So to take it off, we just lift that flap, take that away and put that down. It's important that you make sure that that closes properly. At the moment it's not locked, as you can see. So if you're mowing with your grass collection box on, but you're still getting a strip of grass being left on the lawn on the right hand side of the mower, the reason is usually because this flap isn't down properly, so it needs to lock. We can see now it's locked, but if you leave it so that it flaps a little bit, you'll get grass along the side. So always lock that into position. So that's the mowing modes that we can use for this mower. We've also got the height of cut lever just here. We've got lots of different heights we can go. When you buy the mower, it will always be on the lowest setting. We never want to start the mower with the blade touching the grass. It will scalp the grass and it puts a bit of strain on the engine. So always lift it to the high cut, and then once you've got the engine running, you can then put it back to the desired cutting height that you want. So we'll start nice and high. Although this is an electric start mower, it's also got a recoil which you can use just in case the battery's flat and you need to start it. So that's here, and what we're going to do is attach it to this little bracket here. So to do that, pull in this black lever at the front of the handle here, and then just gently pull that up, and we can then hook that round that curly bracket like that, and that's in place. So it means should you need to start it by hand, we just pull that back and we start it from a standing position. It makes it much easier. But remember, this is also an electric start mower, and it has a battery, and the battery is located just here at the back of the engine unit. So that is the battery, and when you need to charge it, it comes with the charger, and the charger simply plugs into the side here like that, and then you would plug that into a 13 amp socket and let it charge. But all the instructions for all the mower charging and everything are in the manual, so please do read the manual. But that's how you recharge it, so you need to keep that somewhere safe and dry. So looking at the top of the mower here, this is where we started. So the handles here are very simple. This one at the front we need to pull in order to start the mower, whether it's by hand or electric. It will not start unless you pull that handle back in. And as soon as you want to stop the engine, you release it, and that stops immediately. So it's got 4 speeds, 1 to 4, 1 being the slowest, 4 being the highest. And you can alter this when it's going along, and it's just spring loaded. So move the lever out, move it down, and it locks into the next position there. So it's out, down and in. So really simple to change. And so if you suddenly want to slow down to go around a tree, you can put it into a lower speed. We've got the choke and the throttle here. Choke, it tells you the choke, so we just push that down to the choke position to start, and as soon as the engine fires up, we would then pull it back to the run position. And then when the engine is running, we've got this second lever. So this one's been pulled in to start the engine. When we want to go forward because it's self-driven, we just push the back lever in and away the mower goes. So it's really easy to operate, and to stop, we just release everything. Simple as that. So starting again is very simple. We need to put it into choke, and the starting button is just here. We've got a red button that fits into the back. It takes out, so you can take that out for safety. Put that somewhere safe. It means nobody can accidentally start the mower and cause an accident. So that goes in there, the red key, and it comes with a spare. So if you should lose that one, you've always got a spare. So make sure you put that somewhere safe and remember where it is. So let's start it. So we've raised the height of cut, we've put the choke on, I'm going to pull in this lever, I'm going to push the button. It's the first time this mower's been started. We've only just put the petrol and the oil in it, so it might take a little while to start, but normally it will fire very quickly, and then we can mow off. So there you have it. This is the Cobra MX534SPCE, brilliant rotary mower. You can mow in lots of different ways, and it will make an excellent job of keeping your lawn in good condition.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.